Welcome, my friends. It is Wednesday, March 7th, 2012. This is another edition of INFOWARS Nightly News. Investigative reporter John Rappaport is going to be joining us after the first break to talk about a host of issues, including the big bioethicist organization publishing papers calling for killing newborn babies up to the age of 3, saying the state is going to decide if you're a human being or not. They say killing even healthy babies is A-OK. That's coming up tonight with John Rappaport. Now, you know that Andrew Breitbart, who ran the alternative media empire, who brought down Acorn and some of the other criminal operations of Obama, you know that he had basically sworn that he would bring down Obama completely with new information he was going to bring out March 1st. But he died in the early morning hours of March 1st. Now, I said that day, it's very suspicious that within 2 hours of him, just recapping, dying at the hospital after leaving a bar with a few drinks and then collapsing at his home, according to witnesses, that they would announce it was natural causes. The coroners come out in the LA Times and said, 6 to 8 weeks, we're looking at foul play. We're looking at every base, covering all the bases is what he said, including foul play. Because this is obviously very suspicious because he said that day, for weeks, he was going to release this bombshell info. Now, today there was some big breaking news on this front, on several areas. I interviewed Eric Mancow Muller, and as the syndicated radio host was speaking, also Fox TV host, I was like, wow, how did I forget this? That he had called me 3 months ago and said, would you like to be on the biggest cable news channel? I'm not supposed to say which one, but it's pretty obvious. And would you like to do a show where you and Breitbart are my 2 people I talk to every day? Then I have other guests. And I said, yeah, they'll take Breitbart. He's already on there, but you know, not me. But I said, go ahead and try. Well, he's getting his show on there. He's done shows there before. And Breitbart was green-lighted. Obviously not yours truly yet. And I told him I won't even take it, so don't even try. And I'd already talked about this 3 months ago, strangely enough, just left the Breitbart part out. So I'd forgotten about all this. And then Mancow's on my show telling me, and I went, wow, yeah, it was about 10 o'clock at night, talked to him. He said he was real good friends with Breitbart. He'd just been in Chicago. They'd met. He's interviewed him many times. But that's all a side issue. Sure, it's newsworthy that he was going to do a show with Mancow, just like he was saying they were going to do a show with Weiner on CNN, but Mancow knew nothing about that. Of course, Breitbart didn't even like CNN. You know, he's on Fox already. I mean, the other big top network. So all of this is going on. And I'm sitting here talking to him, and he goes further. He says Breitbart said that he had information that would bring down the whole house of cards on Obama. And the video and the audio and the text is all in our article at Infowars.com as this breaks, teleprompter free. And he said, I've got information that will bring him down. And Mancow went on to say he can't say everything, but that it was not Obama at Harvard mentioning a professor who was connected to extremists. I mean, Obama already hangs out with known communists and people that have been convicted of bombings. That's old news. Breitbart said to Mancow, forget it, Obama's gone. He's like, well, will it be Mitt Romney or Ron Paul or somebody? That doesn't matter. Obama's gone. This isn't somebody who would make light threats. He said, I'm going to expose and destroy Acorn. Happened. He said, I'm going to expose these energy contracts. Happened. He said, I'm going to expose all of this stuff. And now he was getting onto the birth certificate with Sheriff Arpaio and all of this forensic team, more than 20 people confirming. And I watched the press conference. Those guys weren't acting. They were like, this is totally fake at every level. No kidding. Day 1 last year, we broke the news and showed it in layers, but that also was made to look like a typewriter. Typewriters are like fingerprints or snowflakes. Every time they strike, there's a different splat at a microscopic level. How that ink slaps on leaves a fingerprint. We blew up all the letters and compared them to the same letters later in the thing. It was identical fake splats. It was a word processor system that is a copy of a typewriter font. Because all the computer does is take a snapshot of an original typewriter shot and add that in to the alphabet. And then it's like typesetting. It lays it in. It's exactly the same. But it's done with a computer, so there's not the slapping of the ink like a typewriter. So it was the same. It's the same. It's fake. It's fake. I don't need the CSI people over there with Sheriff Arpaio. I mean, I'm glad they did it, but the point is, this was all coming out, and he's dead. He's dead. Now, here's the other big breaking news. I'm not trying to bash the folks at Breitbart. They've done overall some good work compared to most right-wing stuff. It's definitely anti-establishment. I mean, it's like Alex Jones light in many ways. And I don't agree with the wars and all the stuff they support. But the point is, overall, they were making the system mad. Mainline Republicans don't try to wreck big government operations on the left because a lot of times they're making money out of it as well. So they made a lot of people mad. That said, we've got timestamps of this we can show you. Everybody's waiting for Sean Hannity tonight. Why, they're going to premiere the footage of Obama at Harvard mentioning a professor he likes connected to communists, as if that's a secret. And that's all Obama's around. Well, there's a little problem. The Breitbart site released the footage already that they're going to premiere on TV tonight and said, this is it, but more to come. Well, Aaron Dykes discovered and Paul Watson discovered very, very quickly that this is from at least 4 years ago when he was first running for office on PBS, Frontline. So we have the footage of both in our articles at INFOWARS.com, written by Paul Watson and Aaron Dykes, showing the new footage Breitbart site has put out. Not Breitbart, he's dead, but the people using that name. And next to the 4-year-old footage that's unedited. They're putting out some edited stuff. We have the unedited stuff. So it's all in the article. In fact, if you take me to the front page of INFOWARS.com, please, you can see that, again, October 27th, 2008, not the video Breitbart died for, leaked Obama vid already aired on PBS in 2008. And if you go there, you go to the Breitbart site, they've got the old footage just re-edited, and then below that, we have the PBS video. So this is what I was concerned about. This is what I talked about from the very, very start. This is what I've always been concerned about. And again, you see that? It's the exact same footage Breitbart's got. Go compare it for yourself. Is that Breitbart would die. He was supposed to release the footage that day, and that they would then put out some whitewash or something that was just part of the overall package and claim this is it. The fact that it wasn't released that day, the fact that it was released over a week later and was something that already had been released, that's not Breitbart's style. He isn't somebody who made big claims and then didn't deliver. The reason he's dead, and I smell foul play all over this, folks, is because he did deliver. He did rock boats. He did stomp on the frozen mainstream media tundra, and the system doesn't like that. And you better believe we're in the same boat. There's big national news we're breaking right now as well. And I'll get to that later. And people are like, wow, Alex, you're getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like, yeah, I'm flying towards my destruction. People, you have to understand, this isn't about ego or about an alternative media person showing the world, that we can dominate. It's about defending our republic and saving our society and defeating Agenda 21 and getting our family rights back, our private property, our Second Amendment. We're fighting really hardcore authoritarians. And I do take all this personally. So I'm committed to this so much. I care about beating tyranny so much. I'm not even worried about what happens to me. That's the only way to roll. It's not because I'm some hero. It's because I'm not going to be a slave or a coward. So here are the articles in closing with this breaking news. Cal Mueller, Breitbart was murdered. Chicago radio host says Breitbart death was warning shot and that others are in danger. He's been to the funeral, the thing. Everybody thinks he was murdered. And he told me all the behind-the-scenes stuff that he told me 3 months ago. And I'm like, I forgot all this. I was being offered a TV show with Breitbart. And not on the network that the media claimed he was going to with Derweiner. Okay, continuing here. Speaking of national news story, this story was up on Drudge today. Dozens and dozens of big papers, by this afternoon it was hundreds, had picked up what we reported on this morning and last night. A blogger, an engineer, we interviewed him today, John Corbett, had gone through the scanners and shown it with pieces of metal that could be bombs or weapons, showing the scanners are a giant fraud. It's all about making money for Chertoff, who ordered him as Homeland Security head, and microwaving us and just having this big power grab. The video goes up of him just sitting there talking about this and showing footage he shot. No breasts, no genitals, G-rated. And they knocked his video down. They blocked it. And they're blocking subsequent copies. But we're able to keep posting copies that others are posting as it goes up. As they try to knock the others down, we're able to keep posting them. So Drudge linked to us to say, here's the article about the censorship and here's the video. But YouTube restricts video of engineer, proving how useless TSA scanners are. Man walked through radiation firing machines with metal objects, knowing he would be stopped, knowing he would not be stopped. So there is that report. And they're now censoring it, but that only caused it to blow up in their face because they tried to censor it. You can find the video at INFOWARS.com. Okay, we interviewed the DPS, as you know, the Texas State Police last week. And I've seen all these articles about local police, the state police with tanks, drones, predators under military control, checkpoints. And we go up and talk to them as they're launching these gunboats with high-powered machine guns to patrol our lakes and rivers. And they look at us and say, we don't have any plans right now for military joint operations, and we don't have any plans for drones. We've got a bunch of articles here on drones. And we also then had the Texas Guard and the Federal Guard, the National Guard, out at the Kite Festival this weekend in Austin. So Chief Arde Saveda, 3 months ago in studio here, said the sky would have to fall, literally, for there to be troops on the street. Well, did the sky fall, pal? Because we got troops on the street here, and the drones are here. So we have a short video clip from the overall Darren McBreen report where they say, no, we don't know anything about drones and connection to police, period. State police or otherwise, the state of Texas. Here it is.
I know they plan on buying a lot of these unmanned drones.
DPS is not that I'm aware of.
The state is the state of Texas is not.
We're not.
Because there's like border patrol with the drones and all that.
Border Patrol's federal.
Well, but they're working with federal agencies. That's what I mean. So it'd be like Homeland Security, for example, is federal. Yet they provided a lot of the funding for these boats that are here in the state. You know. So that's why I was wondering if there's any, federal cooperation with these unmanned drones as well for border patrol and fighting these out of control drug wars.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have drones.
Yeah.
Now, whose drones we have access to, I'm not even sure.
So there you go. Meanwhile, Texas cops hit obstacles in their own truck testing UAVs, drones coming anyway. And this is being broken down by local news, IT World, and others. 33,000 of them, many of them weapons.